right? So finally, the top tier, you have different types of database users and their user interfaces. So you have naive users. Naive users are unsophisticated users, right? So they interact with the system by invoking one of the permanent application program that have been written previously, right? So right, so there will be an application program for a deposit operation and a withdrawal operation in a bank, right? So they will interact with the system by invoking an application program that has been created previously, right? So they will create a new account when a user applies for a bank account, right? So they will perform some operations like deposit or withdrawal. So they may not know how internally the operations are being implemented. They work with the system by invoking an application program that has been written previously. They are known as naive users, right? We have application programmers who are computer professionals who interact with the system through DML calls, which are embedded in a program written in a host programming languages, right? So for example, you can have some DML calls embedded in a host programming language like Python or in Java. So these application programmers are computer professionals who interact with the system through this data manipulation calls that are embedded in a program that is written in a host language. They are known as application programmers, right? So the next type of users, sophisticated users, they can interact with the system by means of a query based interface, right? So sophisticated users, they form their request either by using a database query language or using tools such as data analysis software. And finally, we have specialized users, right? So it should be there. You have a specialized type of specialized users who are sophisticated users who write specialized database applications that do not fit into the traditional data processing framework, right? So for example, whenever you have some databases for temporal data, to storing time series data or geographical data, spatial databases, right? Multimedia data, right? So we have a lot of applications like computer aided design system, which uses multimedia data, knowledge base and expert system, right? We'll be using first order logic or uh, right propositional logic to create a knowledge base and system that store complex data types, right? As I said that we have data with different timestamps. It's time series databases, right? So whenever you need to store stock market data, we need to go for time series databases. Whenever you need to store some geographical information, maps, regions, and so on, we go for spatial databases, right? So specialized users, they write specialized database applications that do not fit into the traditional data processing framework, right? So knowledge base and expert systems, computer aided design systems, temporal data, spatial data, and so on, right? So working with this involve specialized users. And finally, we have this database administrators who are going to interact with the system by means of some administration tools, right? So any database administrator, he is in charge of creating database users and granting access rights to different types of users who are going to access a database. They are in charge of schema definition. They are